What is bardo? How do they translate? Intermediate state, sort of. Anyway, bardo sort of means something in between. Something in between. This is a very important word, something in between, because when we talk about something in between, intermediate state, automatically we are talking about two things. Of course, I'm in between this table and this table, like that. When we talk about intermediate, when we talk about something in between, you are talking about two other things, naturally, right? So this is quite helpful to understand who are these two. Now, generally, people like to go to hear about, bardo, because they have a very narrow concept of bardo. For them, is in between the death, in between this life and the next life, isn't it? In between this life and the next life, there is a continuous consciousness, and that is referred as the bardo. That's the standard, I think, ordinary people's understanding. But actually, that's not to say incorrect, but it's not pervasive, not a complete understanding. It is one of the bardo. In fact, this very much, I'm looking at you, you are looking at me, you are listening to me, probably you are getting pissed off, I don't know. All this experience that is happening right now between you two is also a bardo. Right now, we are going through bardo experience. Bardo. This is a very much a bardo experience. Now, in this case, then we have to develop which one, which is the other two. You understand? Okay, this is a bardo experience now. In between what? From the highest point of view, according to the Mahayana Buddhism, all of us, beings, dogs, butterfly, everything, all of us have a Buddha nature. From the time we do not recognize our true nature, which is the Buddha, all the way until we actually discover, these are the 2 points. So anything in between your true nature until you realize that is the bardo state. You understand? Now, as I say this, I use the word time. We have to. But time is the biggest illusion. The biggest. Jamgyal Kongtrul Lodro Thaye, in his sort of encyclopedia of knowledge of the treasury of the Dharma, it's amazing, it's so amazing. He said, there are bodhisattvas who takes refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and the Sangha, who does Mahayana Patha, who does all the paramita practices for 3 countless eons and finally attained enlightenment. And all that duration, as we speak, seemed to be so long. But he said, time is so relative. From the bird's eye's point of view, that duration actually could have happened, that duration is shorter than when you make fire, sometimes a spark comes out and then it goes and then dies. Yeah, that period, within that time period, a bodhisattva takes refuge, does 3 countless eons of accumulation of merit and purification of, what is it, defilements, and then actually attain enlightenment, and already working as a, liberator of other sentient beings. So that's, I mean, time is relative. So that's, yeah. But these are all theoretical. I want you to actually practically understand this a little bit. This gap actually happens all the time. All the time. From the time that you don't recognize the true nature of the mind until you recognize. Trip. Bardo, actually for me, practically speaking, if you want me to translate Bardo, I would say tripping. It's a trip. Trip from Buddha nature until you discovered Buddha nature is a trip, a long trip. And something like this actually happens even now. Let's experience it. All of you look at this statue of the Buddha. Nothing else, huh? Just look at this. And concentrate on this. Nothing else. I'm sure you are already tripping. See, you are trying to look at the Buddha nature. You see you hear the, traffic. Oh, I must do this. Tripping. I must concentrate on the Buddha. You go back and forth. Every time you are going away from the Buddha statue, Bardo. You are going back to Buddha. Well, kind of enlightenment, huh? Example. Try again, one more. Tripping. You will realize how you trip. Look at the statue. Especially if I make noise. See, you are all tripping. You are laughing. You are supposed to look at this. So, all of that is okay. So, from the time that you have not recognized the true nature of your own mind, all the way until recognition, meaning everything of you, your identity, your family. For instance, we look at our family. It's just an assembly. It's just things put together, and then you just think, that's my family. For now. And you will be thinking just like that with your next family. Friends. It's a trip, family, friends, Buddhism, path. Oh, this is a tripping. Hallucination. It's basically an experience happening. And that's all you have. Nothing else. Yeah?